Former Toys R Us execs are looking to stage the return of the iconic retailer. How and could it work? Joining me now is Lauren Hirsch, the CNBC.com reporter who broke this story, and Liz Dunn, who is founder and CEO of Pro4Ma. Welcome to you both. Lauren, so who's getting together to try to bring back Toys R Us here?
So it's a bunch of former Toys R Us executives. One of them was the former chief merchandising officer of Toys R Us, and he's going to be the new CEO of this new entity. The other key party is the creditors, which own the creditors of Toys R Us, which continue to own the intellectual property. Jeffrey, the giraffe, the Toys R Us brand, all the important essentials.
Is Jerry Storch involved? Because I know a while ago there were reports that he and many other executives have been named in groups that were possibly going to revitalize Toys R Us.
So this is slightly different. There was a bunch of press around the time that Toys R Us went out of business about potential former executives. There was Isaac Larian, a toy company owner, who had wanted to buy the whole company. This is not what that is. They are not trying to buy all of Toys R Us. It had about 700 stores when it liquidated. They're not trying to do that. What they are trying to do is there are several discrete pieces of Toys R Us that remain. There is the intellectual property, which I mentioned. There is this global franchising business, which last year generated about $3 billion in sales. And there's a private label business. There's the toy brand that they manufacture itself. And these Toys R Us executives are trying to combine those three and make a new company
but
out
not
of
necessarily the stores.
Exactly.
That's super interesting. So, Lauren, what would your advice be to them? Liz, she said, Liz, what would your advice be to them if they were to say, okay, what should this Toys R Us 2.0 look like in order to succeed in this retail climate?
Yeah, I think they're focused on the right thing, at least for the right things, at least from what the press release says. So they're talking about customer experience, they're talking about technology, customer service, sort of, I think it's very important to engage with consumers. And the problem with Toys R Us was they had so much debt and, very high rent. It made it difficult to invest in the brand, difficult to invest in customer experience. So I think focusing on product and customer experience is sort of the way to go.
And Lauren, are we talking about being, seeing Toys R Us stuff effectively on Amazon? I mean, is that what this is going to look like?
It's funny, I asked the executives last night when I spoke to them. It is possible. Nothing is ruled out, but it sounds like also nothing is definite. So maybe, but maybe not.
And what happens to the real estate then? Should anybody want these 700 locations?
So those have been up for sale. I believe some have been purchased. And again, it's possible they fill one of those empty 50,000 square foot stores. Much more likely is you're going to see a pop-up shop or a partnership or some sort of seasonal store. You're less likely going to see, the giant big boxes that they used to have.
Should anyone look at that real estate, Liz, or is it just leave it?
It might be appropriate for someone. I don't think it's appropriate for a big box toy retailer. So I very much agree that they should be looking at pop-up shops and smaller experiential retail formats. And I think, in terms of the Amazon thing, it's important to think about partnering because it's very difficult to build that business from ground up. And that's kind of where they are with these new brands.